Oops, I'm gonna go around there. Oh, okay, so this is us in Canberra, setting up. It's a bit windy here, we gotta hang on to things, so our banners are probably gonna stay on the ground for a little bit, but here we are in Canberra, starting at 10 o'clock. We'll just be doing a live and enjoy the day. Okay guys, sorry about that. We had a little problem at the beginning because I couldn't figure out how to turn the video feed around. But anyway, my husband will be managing that. And let's hope it works out. Here we are on, 6th of December, Sunday at Australian Parliament House, Canberra. Ready for Freedom Day. Peace, love and light to restore our human rights.
Tricky with the wind. everybody. We're going to just wait 10, 15 minutes while people gather. Because I'm sure people are having a lazy Sunday morning. If you want any banners, there's some banners here. I've also got some ginormous rollout banners that we'll hold up later for a photo. Sound is good. Sound is very good. Welcome to Canberra. Warning, got a language warning in this song. If you feel offended by language, put your hands over your ears.
Call that Australia Day. I said, how about my chase? That's a good one. And we can do it on your nan's grave. That bitch, you can piss on her face. Get rid of but burn it like my skates. The screaming love or the leave it, I go on. Reaching it be a riff, you can believe it. Or salute a constitutional. Who's underneath it? Turn that flag to a noose. Put a 60 in prison. I can't get on my whip. I get that ticket fat. I get an EWP. And that's a lot of my split. I'll turn the other cheek. I get an off my back. I said celebrate the heritage. Anytime outside Jan 26. That's the day for the suckers doing that sucker shit. That's that land taking, flag waving attitude. That's the rapping who is to show you.
I had a yellow, black and white one and diamond and red line. I've done 6 adult children, 2 grandchildren.
When you go home, here's a gentleman that needs a handout. Who's got the handout? Oh, there she is, Sally. Sally's from Wagga Wagga. She's coming up. I've got some proposed truth handouts here. Would anybody like to go to the number 3 over there? Oh, thank you. There's just a couple of them. Thank you.
Oh, well, I was wondering. Oh, darling, darling. It's a privilege.
Welcome. Language warning on this song, language warning. How you going, Jolene? How you going?
Australians agree with John and his actions on the tamper.
What happened to the others? The thing is to use military force against refugees, isn't that a little overkill?
The spokesman for the line that owns the ship says Australian SAS troops.
Hello, gentlemen in the black. Welcome. Hello, gentlemen in the hat and the blue shirt. We've got another double hour crash. Almost double our numbers, which is fantastic. welcome. We're nice and peaceful. I don't know. It's all good, all good. Well, if anybody would like a sign, we've got some signs in here. We can't drop them up because the wind will blow away. But towards the end, I'll get maybe 12 volunteers and I'll hold some shoe bands up. It's over. In fact, does anybody want to do that? Actually, hold it. No, we'll do it at the end because the wind will blow away. This is 15 minutes of meet and greet, everybody. My name's Mary Jane. I live in Canberra. It's a great song. Thank you for because more people in the car generally takes about 15 minutes to herd kittens. Oh, hello, is this Sonia? Ah, well picked. There you go. So I'll turn my mic off.
I denounce my ancestors, would still fester. If you say that so, I suggest you wake up. Wake up. This country needs a fucking shake up. Wake up. These cunts need a shake up. These cunts need a shake up. Wake up. This country needs a fucking shake up. Wake up. These cunts need a shake up. Wake up. This country needs a fucking shake up. Wake up. Praying on peace without a mainstream voice. Most just stay silent, but I've got no choice. Wake up, this country needs a fucking shake up. Wake up, these cunts need a shake up. Wake up, this country needs a fucking shake up. Wake up, these cunts need a shake up. Wake up, this country needs a fucking shake up. Wake up, these cunts need a shake up. Wake up, this country needs a fucking shake up. Wake up. Well, I yelled my lungs out, but to no avail. Well, I yelled my lungs out, but to no avail. Well, I yelled my lungs out, but to no fucking avail. But you're a stranger yourself. Now that's the thing in the tail. Captain Cook was the very first few jumper. It was immigrant labour that made Australia plumber. Enough is enough. Why do you scope out your stuff? Don't want to live in England? That's fucking tough. I'm sick and tired of this redneck wonderland. First you stay silent and I can't understand. This country needs a fucking shake up. Wake up. These cunts need a shake up.
Hello, who's got the little handouts? I would like to give our friend Sonia here one. Sergeant Sonia.
This country needs a fucking
handouts. Where are the handouts?
Wake up. This country needs a fucking.
Where are the handouts? Oh, here she comes. That's all right. Lovely. There you go. That's the other one. That's what we're handing out just for you. You guys probably know the information on the handout, so fold it up, put it in your pocket, and when you go home, stick it on a notice board somewhere to share the information. That would be helpful. And we're just going to wait a few more minutes to see if Uncle Albert comes up from the tent embassy. Here comes some more people to join us. Use this time to meet and greet and just have a little chat. And also, have a little think. If anybody would like to say a few words, your own personal story, anything at all, feel free. It's an open mic today, because you certainly don't want to listen to me the whole time and bang your musical instruments. There's a bag over here that Nolene's bought a bag of loud, shaky things too, so feel free to have a chat to her, and we'll see if anybody wants to make some noise. Woohoo! Come on up. Hello, welcome, a man on bike. Anybody want a banner to hold up? See here, the band. Oh, I like this one. Nice one. One second together. Run up the lane. Daily refreshing. Got tighter and tighter. The rain's inside me. We must make this thing.
I'm really great here. Hello.
I'm Helen.
I met these guys
Last time, yeah.
And at the back.
All right, so welcome everybody. Sam. My son Sam on the music.
I'll double your weight, 18 quid a week, you'll have in your hand. Vincent said, we're not talking about wages, we're sitting right here till we get our land. The best in man roared, the best in man thundered, you don't stand a chance of a cinder and snow.
I was told not to stand in front of the speakers with the microphone because feedback would happen, so I'm going to stand up here. We're just going to listen to the end of this song and then we're going to listen to one more song. It's a nice song. Just so you know, we're going to talk, listen to people's stories, have a few shouty things, smile for about, maybe an hour, and then wind it up by 12 o'clock. Plenty of time for a meet and greet chat and got somebody in yellow. One or two words for a minute or two, it gives people something other than me to listen to, and we all really appreciate that.
I will talk.
So this is Sally.
Hello everyone, I'm from Wagga.
Sally's helping me out. She's got all these posters here. Just got Freedom Day information. Where's Sally from?
Wagga Wagga.
Wagga Wagga.
This is the last song before we're going to start talking. Hopefully Albert will join us. If not, then we'll manage, won't we? Welcome, man in the blue hoodie. Welcome. I've got some super duper big signs here that are being blown around. If anybody would like to hold one of those up and stand here so people can see them, that would be great. Not look at you. Hey, I think this is the truth. That's a great question. Oh, good on you, mate. Thank you. Do you want the big one? Yeah. Your hands on deck. And I'll, in here, I don't know, did anybody see those big signs on the bridge in town last Sunday? Yeah? It says, COVID-19 vaccine makers have no liability. Huge 23-metre signs rolled up in here. Someone's kept them for today. But it's so windy. We're going to have to get 12 volunteers at the end, and we'll all stand up here, hold them for a photo opportunity, all right? So please don't run away here. I need 12 people to hold the signs. Thanks very much. That's my son, Sam, who I asked to run the music before everybody arrives, just to get a little bit of atmosphere. So now we're going to start the proceedings. So thank you very much for everybody. A big shout of applause to everybody who's here today. Yay, thank you. Thank you for coming. And again, because people might not have been able to hear it before, we've got some signs here if anybody wants to hold something up. There's a fantastic, great sign there, Freedom Day. This is a nationwide event today around the country, Sydney, Melbourne, Cairns, Canberra, Townsville, Adelaide, Perth, Hobart. Where else is it? Darwin just came on board about 2 days ago. And they said, oh, look, we're going to Canberra. Nobody ever turns up in Canberra. And I said, no, I live in Canberra. And even if we have 5 people, that's better than not having it at all. So thank you very much for turning up. There's another big sign here. We are streaming live. That's my husband there in one of the yellow shirts in the middle with the blue hat. He's walking around doing a Facebook Live just so people can see that people are in Canberra and are awake. So we are hoping that Uncle Albert from the Aboriginal Tent Embassy will join us for a few words in due course. But what I'll do is I'll just open this. A little statement about what it is that we are here today for. And then, as I said earlier, if anybody has anything that they would like to contribute, and share with people their stories, why they're here, what questions do they have, what do they think's not quite right about the way things are going on at the moment, then I invite you to come in. We've got an open mic today, so please come in and share your story. So I'd like to read a statement from Freedom Day. Australia reject all and any attempts to force this country into a COVID normal. At both a government and media level, the reaction to COVID-19 has become widely disproportionate, and the Australian people will no longer tolerate any more government overreach on the back of a severely inflated health, quote, crisis. We fiercely reject the notion that a mandatory vaccine is necessary, let alone ethical, and we condemn any suggestion that we should have our finances, our freedom of movement, or our bodily autonomy superseded by a virus with less than 1% mortality rate. Yay! And which our bodies can evidently overcome without any medical intervention in the vast majority of cases. So today, we welcome, we stand in solidarity. We welcome you today. We stand in solidarity around Australia. In Canberra, Sydney, Melbourne, Hobart, Adelaide, Perth, Brisbane, Townsville and Cairns. To defend our right to a respectful vaccine, inadequate testing, and no liability. Where there is risk, we must honour our right to choose. Now, I don't know if anybody knows who I am. I'm Mary Jane Liddycoat, and I came here in May for one of the first gatherings with Michael Simpsons at Sydney Day, and there were, I think, maybe 10 people. Now, today doesn't look like a lot of people, but we had about 250 at the last one, and this is a great turnout for Canberra today. So I came because my mother is in an aged care facility, and I discovered from the 1st of May this year, unless I agreed voluntarily to have a flu vaccination, I would not be able to go into the facility to care for her. So I did my due diligence and research, and I found out a lot of stuff that you probably already know. That's safe and effective that they always tell us about. Well, when you put a Freedom of Information request into the Department of Health, asking to see those safe and effective studies, they write back to you saying you don't have any such documents. So then you ask more questions and you write to your local representatives. Who's written to their local representatives here? Yep. And the response that you get, I don't know about you, but I was laughed at, told that my voice did not matter. This was the Labor Party representative of this area. Her staffer, she didn't bother to talk to me, said, oh, the Labor Party doesn't make their policy based on one person's opinion. And I said, well, I know that I'm not one person. I know that there are tens of thousands of people around the country that have the same questions. They laughed. The will of the people in Australia does not matter. And then I went and found out something else. And what did I find out? I found out that the reason none of our concerns are addressed, from vaccination, pro-choice, to queries, genuine queries about our health. Why are we being subjected to toxic things in the air? Electromagnetic 5G stuff. Why is all that just brushed under the carpet? Why are our concerns not duly acknowledged? Because they don't want us. They don't care. They don't need us to vote them into office. They laugh at us. And the reason is because it's a corrupt pedophile protection network. Who here has heard Bill Senator Heffernan's 2015 speech where he says, I have in my hand a police document with the names of 28 alleged pedophiles that has had a 90-year suppression order put on it. And on this list of 28 alleged pedophiles, there are the very highest of people, judges, lawyers, and a former Australian Prime Minister. So what does that tell you about the people who rule our country? Does that tell you that they care about us? Who do they care about? Them. They care about protecting them. Have you heard this in the media? So what does that tell you about the media? They're in bed with them, protecting everything that they don't want us to change. And what are we here for? Change! We're here to change that. So thank you so much for everybody to coming today. I know you guys already know what's going on. And my invitation to you today is to find something simple. Could be the piece, and you're not alone. So just find one thing, ask people a question, and then let them talk and let them invite you to ask more, to have a conversation about crazy things that are going on. Now, do I have anybody who would like to come and say a few words? Come on, I know someone desperately wants to come and say something. Sally from Wagga, do you want to come and tell any? Just come and tell me a story. Is Toby here? Toby, is there a Toby here? Nolene, do you want to come and say a few words? Nolene's always up for it.
Hello everybody, my name's Nolene.
I am a mother of 8, and I am not an anti-vaxxer, but I've been vaccine hesitant since about 1985. So I had a near miss in 85, and I ended up spreading my kids out because it's really hard to change that worldview, isn't it? I come from a standard conservative background, but in 01 I had a boy who had a much closer near miss. It took me quite a long time to get him back on track. So my Mr. 19 is fully unvaccinated, and as of course the healthiest kid in the class, as most of you people would understand. So thank you. So I've been researching the vaccine thing for a long time, and I'm really pleased to see that a lot of people are starting to get on board and look at the evidence, which is mounting day by day. It's huge. For anybody who's new to the game and who doesn't know where to look, obviously the AVN network website is full. It's got a library full of science, as does Robert Kennedy Jr.'s website, Children's Health Defence. That's a really good place for science to have a look. And of course, Del Bigtree, God love him. He's a bit hard to get used to, but once you do, he's fighting the good fight, and we've got to give credit where credit's due. So there's that. The other thing I would say is, with regard to this particular COVID scam, regardless of where it came from, that's probably a bit much for everybody to get their head around, but new people I should say, but the vaccine itself each of the vaccines have stated that they will not be able to prevent transmission. That's very similar to a lot of vaccines. So all it's claiming to do is to prevent symptoms. Now, given that we've got so many people who have to be tested to find out if they're carrying the unicorn DNA, to get a vaccine with Gates says 10 to 15% side effects. We know from the studies that many, many more people are having side effects, close to 100% in some of them. Why would you take a vaccine to stop symptoms, and the vaccine itself is going to give you those symptoms, and you're going to become a lifetime carrier to others who would be at risk? It's the complete opposite of herd immunity. So I would suggest people have a look at some of that stuff. Obviously, you're going to have to get off Facebook and Google. You'll have to go to DuckDuckGo to be able to get into some of that stuff. And what else? Oh, the WHO has said that as a result of those vaccine findings, that the lockdowns aren't going to stop, and the mask wearing isn't going to stop. And the mask wearing, I can tell you, is creating pneumonia. So you really shouldn't be wearing masks. That's really, really dangerous. So I would just suggest, thank everybody here for coming. And please, I would also encourage everyone to start meeting in person much more often, because that's the thing they scare the most. And in terms of speaking to your ministers, those of you here in Canberra would probably be well aware that a letter to a minister or your local representative is going nowhere. A letter to the opposition is going to get you much quicker results, and a letter to the media is going to get you an immediate result. This is why they've censored the media. So we've got to do something to get media attention on the one hand. On the other hand, if we can't get media attention, at least get human attention by doing things in person. So thanks everyone. Someone else? Anyone else want to come up and add to that? Yay!
Get up there!
She's coming! She's coming!
Okay, no worries. Hello, my name's Dawn Anderson. I have a similar story to that lovely lady. This sign was actually made because every vaccine in this bear represents one of my children that have been vaccine injured, and one of the vaccines actually fell off. So I have 4 vaccinated children, and I've got them sacrificial lambs. They seem to be doing their sacrifices still, unfortunately. But I reckon you're right about the media, because when my first child was injured, that was 20 years ago, and I tried to tell people, I've got to tell people what's happened, but no one wanted to listen because it wasn't on the news, so it mustn't have happened. But the Vax came here last weekend, and they gathered our stories. I'm very grateful for that. That was great that they did that. And I was on that on Monday, and I met this lovely lady there and a few others. But yeah, I think you're right, the media, I think that's where we need to build our voices, maybe do something like they do in, I think it's CNN? Yeah, they've been going up there and banging their pots and pans and saying, stop lying, yeah. So maybe, I don't know what's in Canberra. So some media in Canberra, we might be able to go up there and say, hey, stop lying. Ooh. That's a bit big, isn't it? Yeah, so if anyone's got any ideas or some local media places to hassle, to tell them to, stop lying, I think that's the way to go. Take down their biggest weapon. Someone's trying to take me out, but that's okay. Yeah, so that's my story. Does anyone else want to have a go? Very hard to stand up. Come on. Who's coming up? Oh, woohoo! Yes, I met this lovely lady today. Hey! Thank you all for being here. You're very brave freedom fighters. We need a lot more of it, don't we? There you go, thank you.
Thank you so much. My sign that I made this morning, the wind got to it. I believe I'm Helen Cray. I have 6 adult children, 2 grandchildren and 1 on the way. I've lived through the cover-up of pedophilia with the Catholic Church. And for someone who grew up in such a very, very strict Catholic household, who thought the Catholic Church was the be-all and end-all, and to find out what happened to my brother, and then was covered up by the former Archbishop of Adelaide, who was a personal friend. I mixed with the hierarchy of the Catholic Church. So 12 years ago when I found out this, and it's 3 years ago as of this very now, that we finally got to court with it all. So to then find out and really take in what Senator Bill Heffernan said on the 20th of October 2015, and that was suppressed. It was enough that a global religious institution who put themselves there as representing God could cover up the filth and the child rape, and we have it here in our own country within all levels of government, and neither major party have attempted to pull the wool away from our eyes, nor the media, nor the judiciary. It is totally unacceptable, and I believe from all that, all the other corruption stems.
That's right, all the other corruption will fall away once we remove this pedophile protection racket that is the Australian rulers. I'm not going to say who they are because we don't know, because we are suppressed and unable to investigate a police list. I'd love to hear who else has come from, who's come from Canberra? Put your hands up. Yay! Hello! Awake people. Who else is, we've got Sally from Wagga Wagga. Who else? Anybody from Jindabyne? No, they're not here yet. Hey there, hello, where are you from? Yeah, Southern Riverina, welcome. Anybody from anywhere else? Yes, anybody from Yes? There were some people coming from, someone's from Yes. Who would like to come and say a few words? Anybody?
I'll say something, but I'm not very good.
Sally is fantastic. She's been helping me hand out these flyers. If anybody wants to take some to stick on local notice boards, just come and grab some.
Hi everyone, thanks for coming. My name is Sally and I am originally from Sydney. I think the reason why I started looking into this is because I'm actually in pathology. I'm a pathology collector for a large company, and we deal with a lot of infectious diseases every day, which a lot of them don't have vaccines for them. Not that I believe in vaccine, but I believe in pro-choice. If you want to vaccinate, that's your choice. What I get emotional about is that I actually love my job and I'm very, very good at it, but I might not have it because I'm going to refuse a vaccine. And as I said, I deal with a lot of infectious diseases, and there's up until this point, it hasn't been a problem. You know, people have thrown me under the bus. Well, not under the bus, but you know, you're in there doing the job. And now we've got a COVID, which has got a 99% survival rate, and I could lose my job over that. And I just think that's really, really quite sad. It's scary because, you know, we rely on my wage. And depending on what happens, I'm going to have the strength to fight, which is really scary and that's the reason I started looking into this. I haven't been awake very long. I didn't get my children vaccinated. I knew something was, my 15-year-old daughter sitting down here, I knew something was wrong back then. I didn't really understand it and it didn't really affect me, so I didn't really look into it. But when COVID hit, I knew something was going on. I had this feeling, so that's the reason I started to look into it. It was more about myself, I'm sorry, when I started looking, and about how it was going to affect me and my family. My biggest question to people, which I haven't got an answer from yet, and it's definitely, I've had I've lost a lot of friends. My family's not very happy that I've come out as an activist, I suppose. My biggest question, and I cannot get anyone to answer it for me, is, and it's so frustrating, how did we live up until this point? Like seriously, how did we live with all these viruses that are going around, and we've lived with them ever since we were born? And now COVID has just dropped us to our knees, and even the COVID, what's that book? The guy that the COVID reset book. Even he says it's not the biggest pandemic problem, but it's really just floored us. And I just don't get it. Like, I honest to God don't get it. And I've asked people who are 80 at age, because I deal with people of all ages, and I've asked them, how did you live? And they said, oh, we just lived with it. We just learned to adapt. I just don't get it, I'm sorry. And so that's how my rabbit hole started. Thanks for listening. I really, really appreciate everyone being here. And I'm really happy for MJ. I love watching her on YouTube. So if you haven't followed her, definitely follow her. And Michael Sims, there's a guy in Sydney called Romeo. I love him. Definitely follow him. But I'm very nervous, so I'm going to go. And I'll just keep handing out the doobie whackers.
Doobie whackers, also known as flyers. Thank you, Sally from Wagga Wagga. Very brave. And how many of you have been brave this year? I have. I used to fly under the radar like many of us. And this year, it's like, no, something doesn't make sense, and I will stand up for my kids. Welcome.
My name's Jennifer Saunders. I work at Braidwood Hospital. I did work sort of at Braidwood Hospital. I have 25 years in the emergency department, 45 years nursing. Hey! I refused the flu shot, so I can't work inside the hospital anymore. All I can do is take people's temperature, which makes no sense because I'm seeing everybody who's coming in, but I can't actually treat a patient. I'm going to refuse all vaccinations. I only ever had one flu shot, and I became very ill. I was off work for 2 weeks because it was mandatory. I was working in territory. So from that day, I have never had a flu shot. I have bad kidneys, and they keep telling me, oh, you should have it because, you know, you're on the risk side of things, but I think I'm healthy, I look after myself, and I'm not worried about COVID at all. So I don't know if you guys are going to have the shot or not, but I'm not, and I think it looks like I'll be sacked at Christmas time.
Who here has lost a job? Who's lost business? Who's got a small business? Anybody had a small business? Who suffered from the small business? That's right. So what's this really about now, Zach? Apparently you'd like to come and have a little chat. Someone said Zach? Yes, come up. Just while Zach's walking up, we're going to talk about what's really going on here with the economy in a minute. Maybe Zach's got something to say, but we'll see.
Welcome.
Welcome, thank you. Yes, I do have something to say. I've been watching this the entire time it's been happening. You know, February, I was watching this roll out. I knew it was a crock of shit. The whole time, from the get-go, this has been completely sus, and I haven't bought into it at all. This is ridiculous. And I've been digging and digging, and yesterday I stumbled upon something after I came across a video on BitChute. BitChute people, please use these services, not just me. Please use these uncensored services where you can find more than just the heavily curated information you get from the mainstream media and social media. BitChute. Max Egan, the Crow House. This man he knows what he's talking about, people. There is a website called Tenders Electronic Daily. This is a website where public tenders for electronic software development programs, government departments can put up their tenders for these, you know, companies to bid to kind of access these services for what they want. So this is tender 506291. Look this one up. This is the kind of thing that we need to be getting out there. So tender 506291 released on October 23, 2020. Sorry, I'm just reading it off my phone here because I can't remember all this stuff in here. From the Medicines and Healthcare Products Agency in the UK, government department. This tender is for, I'll quote from this one. The MHRA urgently seeks an artificial intelligence software tool to process the expected high volume of COVID-19 vaccine adverse drug reactions. This is a public tender put out for an artificial intelligence program because their current systems they have in place are not expected to deal with the volume of adverse reactions to this vaccine. This tender was put out in October. The tender has been granted. The program has been developed by a company called Genpact. This company specializes in software development in AI programs. These guys have created this program, I assume in the background here, to deal with the expected volume of adverse drug reactions here. For reasons of extreme urgency, this is all on the website here, Tenders Electronic Daily. For reasons of extreme urgency under Regulation 32(2)C related to the release of a COVID-19 vaccine, MHRA have accelerated the sourcing and implementation of a vaccine-specific AI tool. Strictly necessary, it is not possible to retrofit the MHRA's legacy systems to handle the volume of ADRs that will be generated by a COVID-19 vaccine. What is this? Are we really going to be taking this? They're developing an artificial intelligence program to deal with the amount of expected adverse reactions from this vaccine, and we're expected to. This is just getting rolled out to everyone. Operation Warp Speed in the US, trying to vaccinate everyone in 24 hours with a vaccine that they have to develop software for to track the adverse reactions. Let's wake up, people, come on. Let's point people to this information. Tenders Electronic Daily. Look this up, October 23 this year. This is the kind of information we need to get out there. Common sense, facts, stats, this is what we need on our side. Thank you.
Zach, that was amazing. Thank you, Zach. And there's so much information like that out there, little bits and pieces. dripping it out to our friends and family and communities. Now, I think this lady would like to speak, but not perhaps be on the live? Yeah. Okay.
Hi everyone. I'm a little bit concerned about the way this movement is going, in that there isn't much of a movement, and I'm finding it really hard to get any traction among people I know. So we all know that rich and powerful people can do whatever they like to anyone, including sexually assaulting children and getting away with it. And we all know that drug companies are very corrupt, and they put drugs on the market that damage people without proper testing, and they don't admit to adverse effects on people. But I think we need, at this moment, to set that aside. We know they're true, but we're not really having much luck in convincing other people of that. But what we're facing now is basically a theft of all our freedoms. So you can forget about fascism and communism. We're actually going back to a feudal time where a few rich, powerful families will own the world, and we'll all just be serfs on their estate. And if we're useful to them, we get to live, and if we're not useful to them, we'll be just left to die in poverty. So we really need to really concentrate on that. We need to concentrate on the fact that governments all around the world, even supposedly free countries like Australia, to make people stay at home. That is the real threat. Making you stay at home and making you not be allowed to go to work, making you close your business if you own a small business, because it would be really great if all those people were put out of business, because that would help the McDonald's and the Apples and the Amazons of the world. So we really have to think really smartly about the message we give to other people about this movement, so we can't be just people can't just say, oh, race is less important, because we are actually going to go back 1,000 years to feudal times otherwise. We do need to actually, every time they do say we're going to flatten the curve or something like that and send us home, we do need to get out on the streets, and we do need to protest, and we really need to encourage people to do that. And encourage people to actually look and say, okay, how many people have died? Do you know who have died? Because the reality is it's just another thing, it's just another bug that goes around every year. Sometimes the seasonal flu or cold is a bit worse than other years, but that's all it is. But they're using this excuse to go back to feudal times. So we really need to think about our messaging so we don't look crazy, and really focus on defending our civil rights, and when the time comes, our civil right to refuse certain medications that we don't want to get because we're concerned that they may rush to market, haven't been tested, at best will probably be placebo or worse than actually do us damage. So I hope we'll all think about that and really think about our messaging in this movement. Thank you.
Thank you. And that leads beautifully into the Great Reset conversation. So how much of this is about human health? Not much. How much about this is conditioning to get us to behave, shut up, do what you're told, stay at home, don't ask questions, believe what's in the media? Is it all about that? Right, and why are they doing it? Because there are a few hidden global families that want to make us serfs. So we've seen this, small businesses. I had a small business, which I luckily, because my mum got sick and had to be cared for last year, I luckily had to sell it at a bargain basement price last year. Now I'm grateful I sold it for anything. So here's something simple we can all do every day. Anytime you go into your local coffee shop that may have reopened, or bar, or any shop at all, if they say, oh, you've got to scan this QR code, if you've got to sign in here, smile and say, it's time to say no. It's time to say, I have the money at the moment, at least, and I will spend it where I am not tracked and traced. Because that is my right, as a human right, basic human right. Will tell you have no choice. The reality is you always have a choice. You can say, oh, but they're making me do it. Well, that's your choice to believe that. So if anyone says you don't have a choice, say, well, you have a choice your choice is to not choose. Your choice is to consent. So now is the time that we must not consent. And you don't have to be argy-bargy. I get a bit argy-bargy sometimes. But you can just smile and say, oh, well, you know, and just whatever comes out of your mouth that will resonate with that person on that day, and say, oh, okay. Now, there are some great little coffee shops. I'm going to give a shout-out to my local, which is 1 or 2 Cafe in Marnica. And, you know, they've got a book on the table if people want to sign it. But they don't come around and they don't hassle you, like unlike some of the businesses I've been in. I'm sure you've been in them too. And I just say, if people come and hassle me, I say, oh, right, no, you do realise that the government is entirely corrupted and this is unlawful and unhealthy. Do you know that? And then just see what they say. And actually, you can have a pretty pleasant conversation. I had one with a former Qantas pilot yesterday who was now a real estate agent. Been out of Qantas for a while, obviously, and he knows exactly what's going on. He told me the Qantas union on Friday wrote a big letter about the compulsory vaccination that Alan Joyce announced last week. Yeah, because he said, well, we've got questions, and it's great, have questions, we've got questions. What happens to our insurance? Will the Qantas pilot insurance company still cover us if there's an adverse reaction? What's going on? I don't have the answers to that yet, but the proverbial is hitting the fan. So this is good. More and more people are waking up and taking action. And there are a million actions you can take. Whatever works for you. And this is one thing on my YouTube channel. I did it because I'm not at all interested in being public. But no one else, my demographic, put it that way, no older woman with a family was sort of out there. There are a lot of great voices, Romeo, Fanos, everyone's got their demographic, and I thought, bugger it, I'll stop telling people to do it and I'll just do it. Because I can't ask people to do things if I'm not prepared to stand up and do it myself. So my videos, there's 5 of them, they're very, very simple. My story about the awakening and one action you can take in each video. Some of them have no effect. Writing to your politicians, no effect, but you still got to do it if that's what you want to do. Signing a petition takes you 5 minutes. The petition that was lodged up in the hill by Andrew Wilkie, demanding the lifting of the suppression order on the 28 alleged pedophiles, including the former Australian Prime Minister. That petition was lodged in Parliament by Andrew Wilkie. The next follow-up is demand that action be taken and that list be released unredacted. We don't want another ridiculous inquiry. We want it lifted, and we want the police to do their job and investigate criminals, alleged criminals. I'm sure there are some they'll find. So you can do that. That's 5 minutes. Sign the petition. I think there's another petition going on. There's so many things that you can be doing. Now, anybody else want to come up and say a few words? I love hearing other people's stories. Come on, yay! Just don't stand in front of the speakers because you'll get feedback.
Hi, my name is Susanna, and I don't put up with the crap that's going on. When they ask you to sign in, just show them your crappy phone and tell them to do it for you. So I got a dumb phone. I refuse to have a smartphone. So they go, oh, in this case you have to write the stuff. In that case I say I'm leaving. I'm not supporting the businesses that are supporting the fakery. Second one is what's the next one there? Oh, the temperature. When I want to take the temperature, ask them when was it last calibrated. They'll say, I don't know. I tell them to read the TGA website when it says it has to be regularly calibrated. If it's not calibrated, they can write up any number they want. Ask them when it was last calibrated. They don't know what calibration means. So don't put up with that crap. When they ask you to sanitize your hands, tell them you would use the toilet, which is 5 meters away, and use the wash your hands with soap and water, which has been effective for the last 200, 300, so many years. These people just don't think about anything. They just follow orders. Tell them to start thinking. Oh, the main one. I went around the COVID testing facilities, 2 in Canberra, 1 in Yass, and I asked if I can have a look at the tests. They said no. So I said, do you know where they're from? Because that was back in July. So we had about 66 different tests that were used in Australia for testing. More than half were from China. So I said, I want an Australian test. And they said, we don't know where they're coming from. We just take whatever the government gives us. I said, well, what do you do? So
what's the test involving? And they said, oh, we just put a swab up your nose and we send it away to labs. And I said, can I have a look at the swab? They bring it out, it was from China. I said, stop it. So I went to another facility. I said, I want to get tested because I might be asymptomatic. First of all, I had no intention of testing myself. I just want to know the knowledge from the people that are testing us and telling us to be locked down. So I went to Garen. I asked them if I can be tested with an Australian test. And the woman said, I don't know where they're coming from. I said, well, look, there's a list from TGA. There's about 66 different tests. I want an Australian test. And she said, I'm not more informed than her. This is the main nurse that was testing at Garen. So trust these idiots. Next one I went to Yas. And I said they wanted me to fill in all the details, test my temperature and so on. I said, look, when was the last calibrated? They didn't know. They didn't know what calibration means. So I said, look, I'm not putting up with this nonsense. I'm not just going to wait outside. Can I speak to the management? So the management, the nurse comes out, the head administrator. And I said, I want to get tested with an Australian test. I show her the list of the GA. She'd never seen the test. So she makes a few phone calls. She said she can't show me anything. And she doesn't know where the tests are coming from, the swabs. She said, why do you want to get tested? I said, well, I just want to know if I'm asymptomatic because as my duty, I don't want to spread around and it's for the greater good. And she said, why do you come here? I said, well, I saw your sign, the testing clinic, so I come here. And she said, why do you want an Australian test? I said, because I support Australian economy. And so stand up for your rights, don't put up with the crap, it's nonsense, make them think.
That's clever, isn't it? Always say something positive. There's so many positive things you can say. Because we've got this. It's not going to go down the gurgler. Yes, you can. How many people here have had the actual COVID test? Put your hand up. Do you know? You've had one. Because he was in unlawful lockdown for 2 weeks in Sydney. One person, okay. Who wants to give their DNA away? Nope. So there's lots of simple messages, questions that we can be asking to prompt people away. Those questions are great. If somebody says, oh, you've got to have a test, ask those questions. If someone says, you've got to have a vaccine, which is how I started in March. Okay, I'll show me the product information sheet. From not a glossy flyer, not a promotional flyer, but the actual sheet from the manufacturer. Read the potential adverse side effects and then ask questions. If your doctor doesn't know, then say, okay, well, I'll just hold off on right now because, I've got questions. Go to the TGA, ask them questions. Just keep asking questions. And at the very least, you'll delay having to do that. You can, the COVID-19 manufacturers will have no liability at all. And as Zach told us earlier, they expect adverse reactions. So none of this makes sense. There's the talk of the Great Reset. Oh, and there's the Great Billboard. The Great Reset. So I don't know if you saw the shelf of our Federal Health Minister, Greg Hunt. There was a book, COVID-19, The Great Reset. Right? So it's out there in the open. People will say, oh, the Great Reset, Agenda 21, Agenda 30, oh, that's conspiracy. Because when you Google it, that's what comes up, conspiracy theory. And yet, the politicians are talking about it. So you just refer to what's factually accurate from the politicians' mouths. So the Great Reset. The World Economic Forum, the WEF, has a video on their website and ads, PR, propaganda that's already promoting this. And it has a picture of a young, lovely 20-something-year-old bloke smiling, saying, we will own no home and we'll be happy. So that's the agenda of the Great Reset. No property ownership, no ownership of anything. We will be serfs, as the lady said earlier. We will be serfs. But the question is, well, we're paying rent. Who are we paying rent to? Somebody's owning it. Somebody's definitely going to own it. And the point is, it's not you and it's not me. So that's the Great Reset. Now, I don't know if anyone here's heard of Gassara Nasara. Okay, that's another economic shift that is being talked about. I won't go into any details here. If anybody mentions that the Great Reset is a good thing because it's community-minded, ask them, are they talking about Gasara Nasara or the Great Reset? Because they're different things and people are getting them confused. People will tend to want to think positively and go, oh, but this will be really good because, you know, we'll be looking after everybody. We just need to ask those questions. Anybody else want to come and say something? Come on. And yes, Toby! Are you Toby? Yeah. Next time you can bring your guitar, Toby. Thank you, Toby. Just stand behind the speakers.
Thank you, Mary Jane. Sorry, you are a hero. And I think what I'm first going to say pertains to Mary Jane's journey. For years we've been looking to saviours. It's a thing in Western people. I don't know. Maybe it's a thing in humanity. We need a hero, a leader to look up to and to save us, to take us to that place of safety. What this pandemic, whatever, has revealed to me is that we've got to all grow up. We've got to reassess everything we have learnt, to switch off the television. Oh my God, that is the first and foremost thing. And we've got to ask some basic questions like, who cares about me? And when you get to that, you see that it is yourself, your family, your friends, your community, and then it sort of slows down. It gets calmer and calmer, and fewer people care about you. It's not William Gates.
What? Doesn't he care about you?
Oh, sorry. And that brings me to cognitive dissonance. This is what we're all going to experience. And I've experienced it. Oh my God. Oh my God. And that lady who spoke of her upbringing in the Catholic Church, having to just revisit all her past and her relationships and her places of meeting and places of what she thought was safety, and to paint them with another brush, another colour. I've had to do that, and it's alarming. You are just gutted. You are empty when that happens. But then you grow out of it, and that's part of your growing up. You have to rebuild, and people say that you it's from that place of complete destruction that you then have an opportunity to grow into who you actually are, to grow up. And I just want to share a few things. The people that I have listened to online, and that's the amazing thing about the internet, is that we have the information there. If we choose to see it and go to it, the information is there. And in this period, this year, I mean, it's been a dreadful year, of course. This what's happening to the world. But for me, it's been an amazing year of growing up and informing myself and being able to stand firm in my ideas and to be able to stand up to my peer group who are set in their ways. They're going to be in the front of the row for the vaccine. These are so-called intelligent people. These are academics at the universities, high-powered public servants. And I just think, is this actually the white angels descending and getting rid of the people who don't really think? So, a lot of things. Thanks for mentioning that Medicines and Healthcare Products Regulatory Agency tender request. That was I mean, if you need anything else, what do you need to realise that this, it's as if it's a message from above. It's sort of saying, how can I wake these people up? What do we need to do now? So fabulous people to follow. I mean, look, I'm preaching to the converted here, but some of these names might be new to you. The Corbett Report, James Corbett, fantastic. He's been doing it for 13 years. He's amazing. Someone mentioned Max Egan, fantastic. Patrick Wood, who wrote Technocracy and has technocracy.news. Alpha Vedic. I've got to put you onto Alpha Vedic. They are so fantastic. These Americans who make you feel fabulous. They interview incredible people, and it's all about consciousness, enlightenment, and where we're going, and how this, how we can think beyond this, and how we're growing up, and how we're evolving. I'm just halfway through their last interview a couple of days ago with this amazing physicist in his 70s, Tom Campbell. It's enlightening. It's just wonderful. So that, if you need a weekly fix, Alpha Vedic, I recommend. Of course, David Icke. I mean, conspiracy theorist David Icke. Oh, dangerous. But, as he said, I think David Icke said, these people have come into the room now. They've been since it's basically since the 1100s or before that they've been trying to control the world. But they've come into the room and they've closed the door behind them. You can see them, ladies and gentlemen. We can see them. Other people can't. You know what? They haven't taken down that tender application. It's still there on the internet. And of course, never believe anything until it's officially censored. That is, I remember hearing that line at a rally. I was in a rally in London in 1999 against the bombing of Kosovo. And the guy said, never believe anything until it's officially denied. And of course that, relates to then censored. But people still, no, it's dangerous. It's dangerous to put that thought into somebody's mind. Are we children? Yes, we are. As Tom Barnett says, we're 12-year-olds in an adult's body. Tom Barnett, great guy, lives up in Byron Bay. Yay! Fantastic. So a lot of things here. So needing to grow up, who cares about you? And just thinking, their techniques, divide and conquer. It's, I mentioned, who really cares about you? It's you, it's your family. I think it's been removed now, but Black Lives Matter's mission statement had disrupt the family. And you've just got to ask the question, why? Why disrupt the family? And of course, it's because the family cares about you. And you've got to ask, what about humanity? 1.5. Dangerous. People are dangerous. All of that. And you say, well, look at this. This is dangerous. Thank you. The big thing is, that electromagnetic radiation is coming closer and closer. It's closer than 1.5. In fact, it's penetrated. It's penetrated my sovereignty. Can you say that to the people? Can you say, have you turned off your Wi-Fi, please, because you're coming too close? And I know this anti-human agenda. My industry is performance, is the performing arts, and it's all about connecting with people. It's all about engagement. We as performers connect with each other. We create energies that then connect with the audience. And morphogenetic fields, that's something I've come on to. So Dr. Rupert Sheldrake, look him up, he's fantastic. Talking about consciousness, higher consciousness. And this agenda is just saying, no, be afraid of other humans, they're dangerous. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I will say it here, I'm not convinced by germ theory. Give me terrain theory all the way. Yeah. I've understood so much more about sickness and what really makes you ill. And in fact, I do recommend that book, What Really Makes You Ill, by David Parker and Dawn Lester, husband and wife team. Took them 10 years to write it. David Parker had 6 friends who all got cancer, all took medication and died within a year. Had one friend, another friend. She refused medication. She's still alive. And driven by that, and again, it's about that going down. You've got to go right down before you can rise up again. He was driven right down, and that was his motivator to write the most amazing book. I am rereading. That's it. I'm rereading it. It is so, so juicy. It's got it all in there. I really recommend it. Don't get it through Amazon. Do an alternative, and hopefully the alternative is not owned by Amazon. So, you know, it's waking up to these things and really being and understanding that it's us. We are strong and we have infinite potential, and that's Max Egan talks about that. So does David Icke. All these people, they talk about that. And we, on an optimistic level, we are coming into an amazing age of consciousness. Now, I can feel it. I can feel the energy that I'm connecting with all of you. It is really amazing. I went to see a film the other day of an opera. The opera was filmed in February this year, so, you know, a while ago. And after these great performances, great arias, we clapped in the theatre, in the cinema. And I was thinking about that concept of clapping a film. And then I spoke to a dear friend of mine, and a recent friend, a new friend that I've made, thanks to the last Freedom Walk. Woo! And he lives around the corner, he and his partner. And I was talking about that applause and was saying, okay, great, you know, the rest of the audience hears the applause. They, you know, we're all resonating together. We're resonating in the room together. But then he said, oh no, those performers felt it as well. Oh, come on, Phil. What do you mean they felt it? You know, it was back in February. No such thing as time. And if you think about moments when you're standing on a stage and there's that energy in the room, it's not just in the room that it resonates. It goes way beyond there. It will resonate for days and days and weeks afterwards. And we can all think of moments that we've experienced which have been just amazing. And if you think about them as being these reverberating, resonating experiences, then you're talking about real life. I mean, I often think about how cells in our bodies communicate with each other. And if we start thinking of ourselves as cells that are communicating with other cells, other people in this universe, then we start to link in, tap into these amazing greater energies that are out there that the people who are running the show have no idea of. They're living in this world of matter, of mechanism, of financialisation of nature, the whole sort of breaking things down into their separate, their unique, and giving names to all these individual things. We are all connected. That whole idea of giving a disease a name, it's just so ridiculous. Florence Nightingale knew that. She said there's no such thing as disease, there's only disease symptoms. And I'll just share one more thing that I read from Stefan Lunker, a doctor who questioned the whole virus hypothesis, particularly with regard to measles. He says, disease is caused by two things, toxicity and deficiency. Think about that. Thank you very much.
Fantastic, Toby. Would you like to come and say something? The lady over there, No, okay. Tom, would you like to come and say just a few words? Tom's come up from Jindabyne. Go on, Tom. While he's walking up here, I just want to say there are so many fantastic, informative and interesting to listen to and watch people out there in internet land. And if you haven't got everybody's names and everything today, and you don't need to see them all, but if you just wanted to find one, if you join our dreaded Facebook group, Awoken Canberra, or message me and I can hook you up, that's where you can go once a month or once a week or once a day, drop in and just see, I forgot that person's name, but I'll have a look there. So we can all still stay connected. If you want to give me your phone number or anything, any way you want to stay connected, do that. Here's Tom from Jindabyne.
Anything. Thank you. Thank you, Mary Jane. We met in March. I do EMF home assessments. sort of in a spare time. And Mary Jane and I met because I assessed her house in Canberra, and she gave me her email address, and it was a Proton mail, and I said, "Oh, you must know something." And anyway, then it was on. And neither of us, you know, there's various stages of being woken up, and I thought I'd been awake for years because I had an autoimmune disease in 2006 and did normal medical treatment, which was a drug to suppress my thyroid because it was Graves' disease. And then I took radioactive iodine, which the endocrinologist gave me, and it was in a lead-lined container on his desk, and he stood back against the wall and said, "I'm going to stand back here, open the lid, put the water in your mouth, stick the pill in your mouth and swallow," which I did. And then that woke me up initially. That was my first wake up, because I thought, I left there thinking, I don't know if I should have done that. And but all that woke me up to was the fact that there's something wrong with Big Pharma. Not knowing that there's something wrong with everything. And that's why I almost feel, well, I do feel actually grateful for the year 2020 in the fact, like everyone's been saying, Dav and Toby, they're forcing us to wake up. And, you know, I've learned, even when I met Mary Jane in March, we're both on this, you know, something's going on here. I mean, look at her now. Look at the stuff she's putting out. It's unbelievable. So yeah, thank you very much. But yeah, there's, you know, it's tricky seeing your friends that, you know, we lived in Canberra. We moved out in December to Jindabyne. Jindabyne's a fantastic community. In fact, probably there's 8 people or 10 people here from Jindabyne. And Canberra, unfortunately, is, you know, we should be having we should be having at least a couple of hundred, you know, hopefully 10,000 people here. But there's not, so it is up to us to do what we can. But it's hard. Like, a lot of friends just aren't interested to talk about this stuff. Actually, how many people here are public servants? Yeah, because I think that's a hard. Is it true to say that's quite a hard area? Because you go to work, you do what you're told, you get rewarded for doing what you're told, you go home, and yeah. So well done to you guys for standing up. But yeah, that's all I've got to say. But thank you, Mary Jane, and her whole family for putting up with her.
Yeah, that's probably the key message. Thank you. This is actually Tom's PA system, who he kindly lent it to us. They run a sports event company down in Jindabyne. They do a lot of stuff, and the EMF stuff. I thought I was checking the radiation from mobile phone towers, but in the process discovered a big magnetic field issue in my house. So, yeah, we went through the whole bit. You don't know what you don't know. How true is that? We've got another 5, 10, 15 minutes. If anybody else would like to come and say something. Do you want to? Oh, yeah, Zach wants to come up again. That's great, Zach. Just another little plug is, you know, at the beginning, you sort of just go, I'll write the letters, I'll do this, and then you have to get, or you don't have to, but I chose to get louder and louder and louder. And the video thing is what I've been doing recently. But not just me, it's amazing what you can create when you start showing up. And it's this, what Toby was talking about, this quantum connection that goes through time and space. And if you just go, you know what, I'm going to put myself out there and do something, people will show up. I don't know if you saw the Zooms, the mass Zooms we had on Facebook on Tuesday, 1st of December, and Thursday, the 3rd of December. We had about 16 people on the first one and about 20 on the second one. With Graham Jeffs from Aussie Patriots down in Melbourne, and we had Karen Brewer from she's been like a little dog with a bone about the pedophile list. She lives in New Zealand now because I think she had to look after her safety. And so 16 influencers. On Thursday there was the Thanos Romeo, Jackie Dundee, Serene Tefaha from Advocate Me. Like, these are really key players who have particular messages for particular demographics. Not everybody will resonate with everybody, and that's fine. So if you get a feeling, you know what, there's something, I'm sure there's something I can do, just put it out there and the universe will definitely bring it to you. Right, Zach, sorry.
Thanks for that, Mary Jane. Oh, that's such a good point you made at the end there. You know, we're not all going to agree on everything. You know, that's exactly the idea of this, thinking for yourself, not letting other people think for you. We're all going to disagree on things. I just wanted to have kind of a final word here after what I said before. It doesn't need to be all doom and gloom and scary statistics and patents for all these things and AI and everything. There's so much we can do just every day to fight this. You know, the biggest thing that's already been mentioned, stop supporting the big multinational corporations. Amazon is probably the worst of them all. Do not shop there. It's convenient, I know. It's cheap, I know. But the money, Amazon, it's bad. Just, they're cutting edge in terms of AI technology and everything. You know, they're setting up these systems to help keep people socially distant in all their warehouses and everything. It's just sick what they do, basically. So don't support these big businesses when you can. Support your local businesses where you can. You know, tip your waiters, tip your baristas, like all these little things. Just the things that you grew up with that were normal. These things that were normal once upon a time. Community, family, coming together. You know, thinking for yourself, not just following the crowd. Think for yourself. Question authority. That's one of my favourite ever quotes. Maynard James Keenan, the band Tool. It's my favourite. But anyway, just think for yourselves. Shop local. You know, connect with your family. If you haven't spoken to your family for a while, connect with them again. Your friends, same thing. Let's just come together. Okay, all this left and right, Labour and Liberal, it's bull. That's it. They're dividing us so they can conquer us. Everyone knows this, dividing us. We are all in this together. Our enemies are the ones who are greasing the wheels of democracy. Okay, back here, they're not running the shows. The ones behind them running the show. They want us turning against each other. Don't give in to them. Let's combine our efforts together. Let's come together and we can fight this, including the police over here. If they come together with us because they're just people like we are, we can come together and we can get through this okay. This doesn't have to end badly. But we have to make the right decisions each and every day, just the little things, and it makes the biggest difference. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for coming out.
That's amazing. That's such a good point. This is a positive opportunity for us to create the future that we actually would like going forward. And here we have a lovely lady with a hat. It's going to blow away.
I'll hold on to it. Hello, everybody. I would just like to say that this year I've started standing in my power. And every single one of you is doing that right now. You've let go of fear. You're here in your hearts. And you're sharing that with everybody and everywhere where you go. So maybe your family and maybe your friends hasn't agreed with you and hasn't said the words, but just tell yourself, I'm proud of myself. Well done. And we've all got this. How much better are you today than you were yesterday and at the beginning of this year? So thank you so much. You guys inspire me and we all inspire each other.
Absolutely, and that's where the look, Facebook is terrible, we know, but we're there because that's where the sleeping masses are, and we try to wake them up. But that's also where, if you are feeling alone, just reach out to somebody, you know, join one of the groups, Freedom Day, Aussie Patriots, Awoken Canberra, just join, and if you're feeling sad and alone or something, reach out to me, and we are always there to help. Somebody else would like to have a word. And what I would like to do at the end, when we wrap it up in a couple of minutes, we're going to put some music on lower so that it doesn't get in people's heads, but I've got some banners here, and I would love to take a group photo. So we need probably 12, 18 people to hold the banners up in front of the speakers, and we can hold it, and then we can go down, my husband will go down there and take a photo, and we'll post it in our group and that sort of thing. So, but we've got a few speakers for the moment.
Hello. This is just really quick. I don't know if any of you are aware, but on December 21st, 2020, there's a very big global meditation event that is occurring worldwide. The Aboriginal elders are going to be running this from Uluru. And it was just announced yesterday that the Glastonbury Festival is going to be supporting this event, which is huge. This is huge. So, you know, we may look at our numbers today and go, gee, we don't have many numbers, but I can tell you it's coming. It's coming. This event will be taking place, so if you are a meditator, we pretty much need as many people as possible to get on board this. You can go online and you can have a look at the event. I can even maybe post it to you so that you are aware of this. And you can do this in your home. You can do this in your home. The whole idea is you're going to try and hold a meditation for as long as you possibly can. It's at 9:02 or 9:04. I can't remember the exact time, but it's on the 21st of December. So the Glastonbury Festival in the UK is going to be joining on board this massive event. So you can do this from your home. Anyway. That's it.
Fantastic. And you know what? Even if you can't meditate for more than a little bit, as long as you're grounded, you can sit in your back garden or anywhere with your feet off, with your shoes off, and put your bare feet on the ground. And yeah, that can be part of it.
The whole idea is to, so you just want to get your coordinates. The whole point is you want to be facing where Uluru is, so you want to get your coordinates when you are doing this meditation. And there's actually directions. So the Aboriginal elders that are running this in Uluru, they have a template about how they would like you to meditate. So it's quite informative. I will send it through to Mary Jane, so if anyone's interested in it, it's energy on a grand scale.
Thank you so much. Also come up from Jindabyne. Thank you very, very much. All right. Well, if anybody has anything they'd like to say now is the Cootamundra. Welcome. Welcome, welcome.
Hello, dear friends. It's Fisher here. I didn't prepare to speak today, but I see so many wonderful people here. So I just want to say some quick words. So following what that lady said, I believe on 21st of December, so the Jupiter and Saturn is in conjunction 0 degree. So there will be the announcement of official announcement of the age of Aquarius. So this big change of time too. So basically I feel blessed. So this COVID-19, the whole business, I feel really blessed because that wakes me up even more. So I see it as a very positive thing. To be very honest, so the fundamental problem with humanity is we have been living in an illusion for 1,000 years. We're living in an illusion. So we've been sleeping too long. So that's the time it takes the whole COVID-19 thing to wake us up. So and that's great. That's great. So now is a big time of a shift of consciousness. So there will be a division. So you see, I see my family. My family don't believe me much, but of course I love my mom and dad, and then they love me too. So they just think, oh, okay, somebody talking here, my son's talking here, but they sort of half believe me, but it doesn't matter. So like the old saying is, we change the world by changing ourselves. So. Isn't it? So we cannot. I never say I have lots of conversation with my friends, neighbors. Very few they believe me, and the other they don't. So then I say to them you don't have to believe me. You can believe yourself, and also do your own research. So that everybody has to have critical thinking and independent thinking for themselves. So do not believe what you're told, but believe what is right. And again, so. again, we are the problem. So there's a greater evil there in the world. There's lots of evil there happening, but we are the problem because we allow it to happen. So we are the problem. So we have to be honest. And then at the same time, when we are the problem, we are the solution too. So the choice is ours. So whether we choose to be the problem or we choose to be the solution. So I choose to be the solution. I'm a registered nurse. I've been a registered nurse for more than 10 years. So what the other ladies, well, she's been a registered nurse for 45 years. So, I can't compare to that. So I came to Australia 15 years ago. I grew up in China. So I love China and I love Australia too. So one thing I have to say is the other countries is never been the enemy of us. So the enemy is always within us. So we have to in this particular time, as few people already mentioned, divide and conquer. So of course, the people always the power that be always will wave the white against the black, the Chinese against the Indian. So humanity is one. And that's what we have to realize. So there's no the race or color or religion, no illusions. That's illusions. So it's a time. The biggest answer I feel is that we need to love our fellow human being. It's time to love. We cannot win the battle. We cannot win the war by fighting the evil, by fighting the bad. But we will win this by promoting the good. So it's the time everybody need to uplift their consciousness, their vibrations. So basically live in love. So because the evil cannot handle this. So as long as we stay in love, have a courage, and then we'll win. We'll triumph at the end. So okay, I love you all. So God bless.
What a fantastic way to wrap up this wonderful event. Now, who would like to come and grab one of these great banners, and we'll hold them up along here. I definitely need about, we can put some music on now, thank you, Sam. And we'll hold them up and take a group photo. And here's another one. We definitely need quite a few people because these are huge banners, and then we'll have to get everybody in order. And we'll stand in front of the speakers, facing down the hill so we can get Parliament House in the background. Right, and I will hold this sign. Okay. Oh yeah. Anyone got little signs of mine? Okay, so unroll them. So it says COVID-19. Sam, music please, Sam. Sam. If anybody wants to be in the photo, come in and you can hang around the back. We'll take a photo. Jindro, can you take a photo as well, do you think? No? Anybody? Actually, could somebody take a photo and send it to me? Oh, thank you. Helen, you take a photo. All right, so Helen down there. Everybody facing the lady in the middle with the yellow shirt on. With a sign. Can you get us all in, Helen? Brilliant. What do we want? We want our human rights back, and we're going to get it and stay positive and love everyone. Freedom Day Canberra. Woohoo! All right, thank you everybody for coming. Please take the last couple of minutes that you've got here, half an hour, whatever, meet and greet, chat to people, because we're not alone and we're not crazy. And we will get our Australia back for all Australians. Thank you for coming.
I wish that this problem were not ours.
wake up, wake up. This country needs a fucking shake up, wake up. These cunts need a shake up, wake up. This country needs a fucking shake up, wake up. These cunts need a shake up, wake up. This country needs a fucking shake up, wake up. These cunts need a shake up, wake up. This country needs a fucking shake up, wake up.